What's up, gangos? My gangaroos, my gangies. I was looking at some of the biggest industries in the world, and I was looking at one of them. It was weight loss. Weight loss is a $60 billion industry. And I was like, damn, why is it such a big industry? And it's like, I went through a big weight loss journey myself. I was 204 pounds, 5'4", and yeah, I was like big. And then now right now, I'm a little bit lean. I don't look too bad, but I'm like 192, 5'11". But yeah, this took a while, but nonetheless, I feel like for a lot of people that I know in real life, they went, even if they didn't go through a weight loss journey or they're too scared to or whatever, weight loss essentially doesn't even really work, because this is my theory. For me, it did work because what I did was I was fat and then I lost a shit ton of weight and then I put on a shit ton of muscle, right? And I think that's the key timeline you need to go through. But some people are too lazy to put on muscle. They're too scared to put on muscle. They're like, oh, it's gonna take too long. It's too much work. Or I don't want to look like those big like steroid guys when they don't even realize how hard it would be to ever get to that size without ever taking, if you don't take enhancements, you'll never get to that size ever. Like, it would take you like 15 years of training non-stop, and you're definitely not doing that. If you can't even get yourself motivated to get a little bit of muscle, trust me, you're not gonna put on 15 years worth of muscle. Nonetheless, when I studied how to lose weight, and when you're like going through the journey, you start looking up, oh, what diet to use and how to lose weight and how do I track my calories and why isn't the scale going down, like all this like little bullshit or whatever. The gist that I got from it was, if you're fat, you obviously need to lose weight, and the only two ways to do that is calorie deficit, which means you're eating less than you're naturally burning, and to increase your movement, so just move more than you are right now. Because even if you eat very little, if you're not moving and burning calories, you don't burn nothing, right? Because you're like, I don't know all the science behind it, if I'm gonna be honest, but I just know you need to increase your movement or you need to eat less. And so people who are fat, right, they obviously move very little. They're like hermits in their house, sitting, eating cheese balls on their sofa, like a disgusting hermit. Or they're eating way too much food, right? And so every person has a different amount of calories they burn on a daily basis. And just for generic purposes, let's just say it's 2,000. If you eat 2,000 calories every day, you'll stay the exact same weight. If you eat more than 2,000, you'll gain weight. If you eat less than 2,000, you'll lose weight. And 1 pound scientifically is equal to 3,500 calories. So you would need to eat 1,500 calories a day for over a week just to lose 1 pound, okay? Because 500 times 7 is 3,500. And so if you did that over a course of a month, you would lose 4 pounds. But eating 1,500 calories a day for 30 days is very hard, because even, I don't know for like children, but like for an adult, you're supposed to eat at least 2,000 calories. And so you're like, wait, how am I supposed to eat 2,000 calories and also burn 500 or whatever? It's like, that's why you move. So if you can go to the gym and burn 500 calories, you can still eat 2,000 calories, but then you still burn the 500 because you went to the gym for 500 calories. And burning 500 calories is somewhat tough. I don't know the exact, like, how much you would burn if you did weightlifting, but I'll go into that right now, right? So weightlifting definitely does burn calories, and the more like easier way to measure burning calories is doing cardio, right? You'll have a machine, you go on the treadmill, Stairmaster, and you gotta go on it for a certain amount of time. Like for me, every single day I do the Stairmaster for 36 minutes, and that burns 400 calories. And then I do the sauna after that for 15. Again, it's something you can't really equate, because unless you're like wearing a watch, which I don't really believe how accurate that is or whatever, but the sauna does help a little bit, reduces your water. And a lot of your weight is water. Our body's 80% water. But for weightlifting, right? The way that burns calories, if you're obviously weightlifting very heavy or with a lot of endurance, like you're doing lots of reps. I don't know for strength training, actually, if I'm being honest, but for endurance, you will, like if you're moving a lot of weight consistently, you're gonna start sweating, and that's what you want to do. If you want to burn fat, you need to move more, so you sweat. And so when I weight train, I do more on the rep side rather than the strength side, because I train for aesthetics rather than for strength. So it doesn't matter for me to do really heavy weight and doing like a 1 rep max. I don't need to do that. I rather do like 10 reps each arm, and if it gets me sweating, it gets me sweating. But I don't really train for cardio, for calorie burn on the weightlifting side. But I will tell you this: the more muscle you put on, the higher your natural calories burn. So what it means, so let's say you at your regular size, no muscle or whatever, you burn 2,000 calories a day, right? So that means if you eat 2,000, you're equaled out. But if you put on muscle, that rate goes higher. So eventually you put on a little bit of muscle, you start burning 2100. Then you start burning 2200. Then you start burning 2300. So you'll see where this goes. So it's like if you put on a good amount of muscle, you start naturally burning 2500. So then when you're still eating that 2000 calories, you're still burning 500 because you put on that muscle burns more calories than like a regular like fat burns no calories, but muscles actually burn calories on your body. That's why it's good for you to have it. And the science behind it, from what I understand, is when you weightlift or whatever, your muscles tear like inside, and for the muscle to grow, it has to rebuild within it, right? And rebuilding it takes energy, and that's what's burning the calories. So you actually burn more calories when you're putting on muscle in your sleep. It happens all in your sleep. That's why sleep and recovery is very important when you go to the gym, because that's when you're growing your muscle and that's when you're also burning your calories. So for me, the weight loss industry, a lot of people will lose a lot of weight, fat, they won't put on any muscle, and they end up just gaining it all back, because what they do is such a bad routine. Because what they do, they cut out all, they'll like be like, oh, I'm gonna eat less. Like if they're burning 2000 naturally again, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna eat 1500 for the next 2-3 months, right? They actually lose the 10-15 pounds, whatever. But then as soon as those 3 months are over and they like slip up, every single day after that, they're eating again at the 2000, and they didn't put on muscle, so they're not naturally burning more. They just go back to their regular state, and with enough time, 3 months of losing 15 pounds, you can easily gain those 3 months back by just going back to your like. Because how do I explain? Like, if you eat 1500 calories for 3 months, you slip up, and in the next 3 months you eat 2500 to eventually equate. Now you're back at the 2000 level, so you gain all that fat that you burned. I don't want to say unethically, but not in a smart way, because you should have burned it through more movement and more muscle rather than eating less and just like starving, essentially. Because it's like the same thing with money. Like, you can only save so much before you hit zero, but you can make as much as you want and go, like, the sky's the limit. So you need to really take it into that consideration when it comes to fat loss and all these like fat loss programs. I'm only saying this video because, like I said, the industry is $60 billion. So, and there's way more to it than just fat loss programs. I low-key think I should start a program where I teach people how to go from fat loss and putting on a decent amount of muscle, because I don't care to really train people to lose fat. It's such an easy and simple method, but putting on muscle is actually where it gets complicated, and there's a lot more work and science involved, like, with your form and contractions and your aesthetics, your genetics, all of that is heavily involved. So that's something I would like to do, but I don't know if people would actually want to go through the fat loss and to the muscle phase. I feel like people really cared for that, they would have did it themselves, but I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, right? But yeah, it's a $60 billion industry. Learn how to actually lose weight and keep it off. Don't just lose fat and be like, oh, I'm done. Say no. You lose fat for 3 months is not impressive. Lose fat for the rest of your life. Put on muscle, naturally burn more so you can eat more, have a more active, healthy lifestyle. And that's how you win in the end.